Hey guys, welcome. This is Brad Anderson. I am the broker owner of White Rock Realty. I have agents across the state of Texas, Oklahoma, and New Mexico. And I do a lot of these videos on whenever we have new forms and contracts that come out. And as of this recording, January of 2026, there are a couple that have come out. And the ones that I'm going to review today really just center around our duties and options with regards to showing property. And we have an extra form now that we can use as an option. And you're looking at it here. It's called the Unrepresented Customer Showing Form. And before, we just had the buyer representation short form and long form. All right. So I'm going to go through what this particular document is, why you would ever use it, when you would ever use it, and the details around it because it's important. And then I'm just going to compare it to what we've already had, which is the buyer rep form long and short version. So this came out, the one you're looking at here, as an answer to, well, what if I want to acquire a buyer client? They're currently a customer, and so the goal is to turn them into a client, right? But they don't feel comfortable signing anything. And what do I do about that? They want to go see a property. Um, Maybe I just want to show them one and then tell them, hey, after that, they've got to sign either that short or long form. And so before this form came out, there was nothing to really speak to that. So here is the foundation for this document. As a result of the NAR settlement, um, we have to have something in writing in the state of Texas to be able to open up a door for somebody. And it even says that right here. Note, pursuant to 1101.563 of the Texas Occupations Code, a broker must enter into a written agreement with a prospective buyer before showing residential property. End of story, right? So before we can get in our car and open up a door for somebody, got to be in writing. And the property that they want to go see, you can put that up here. All right. Now you can put in multiple properties if you want. That's fine. But what's most important, and this is just a one pager, but man, does it go about describing what you can and cannot do. So let's just read it together. The broker will, at broker's reasonable discretion, provide customer, you notice how they put customer in here, not client, because they haven't signed a representation agreement yet. And you'll see why we refer to them as customers here, not a client in a second. Provide customer with access to the real property described above according to the following. The first one is a biggie. There is no representation. Translation: there is no agency relationship formed when they sign this document, which means that there is no fiduciary responsibility. We don't owe them anything. We are merely there to open up a door so that they can go see a potential property. Okay. Customer does not currently have a representation agreement with another broker. So if they just call you because their realtor isn't available, okay, can't do that. Okay. If they already have a written agreement with somebody, this can't happen, right? Because in that scenario, they do have an exclusive agency relationship with somebody, and they can't just call you because that person's not available. Okay. The second point, what you're doing with this document is free. It says no compensation. Broker will not charge customer any fee to show the property under this agreement. All right. You cannot give any advice or opinions. All right. Now, if you want to print out the MLS form and rattle off square footage and how many bedrooms and baths, that's fine, right? Because that's public knowledge and you're within your right to do that. But you cannot offer any advice or opinions in this agreement. Um, you also will not provide any other brokerage services. All right. Um, Broker and customer may agree to additional services and compensation for other stuff in a separate agreement. And then term. This agreement is non-exclusive and automatically terminates when this showing is over or no later than 14 days after the date that's signed below. Okay. So, and then it goes on to say, the client, the customer is going to hold harmless us with regards to personal injuries, loss or damage of person's property, things of that nature. All right. But the big call outs on this document is that you're doing this for free and you're providing zero advice and opinions. Now, we all know that it might go beyond this property and they may want advice or opinions. Well, that's where, and it says, hey, you may move on to that next step in a separate written agreement. And so if it goes beyond just simply opening up a door, you can have them fill out either the short form or the long form. Okay. So there are other documents that enable you to go beyond this initial, let me just open up the door for you type of deal. But um, let me just kind of give you my personal opinion. This was really designed to remove the perception amongst a client or customer that they're locked into anything with you. It does not erase the fact that the goal of any realtor is to turn a customer into a client. And so I just want you to beware that I would maybe do this once per person, but after that, I would have them sign a buyer rep agreement because, I mean, they either are ready to buy a home or they're not. Okay, so this just enables you to go show a property and still have it in writing, but doesn't bind them through agency or representation to any obligation to you. Okay, so I hope that's clear. But be mindful, man, if you got to drive more than 15 minutes, remember that under this agreement, you're doing this for free. So you decide whether or not you want to do that. So in my opinion, I don't know why you'd ever want to use this. I would make them sign either the short form or long form. I think that one of the advantages to this is that I think the customer feels better. Um, but it sure kind of opens the door for you driving around a lot, not getting paid for it, and with no guarantee of them turning into a customer. But that can be a good thing as well, right? So, but that being said, I just wanted to quickly review what the differences were between this new form and the forms you already had and what you want to, how you may want to use them. Now, as always, you don't have to be a realtor with White Rock Realty to reach out to me for a list of forms that I have already for you in the state of Texas. And these are going to be a list that you will need to list a home, which is what you see here. I have all the forms that you'll need to represent a buyer. And I have all the forms you'll need to represent a lease client. And if you want those, I will be glad to email them to you. I'll just kind of leave my contact information here. And here is my email address and phone number. You can text me, you can email me. You don't have to be a realtor here. I have sent this out hundreds of times. Just reach out to me and I'll send it out to you. I never want you to guess as to what forms you need on what. I am also an instructor at Champion School of Real Estate, so education is a passion of mine. And so that's why I give all this stuff away for free. It's better to have a smart realtor out there than not, right? So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I am always available to answer those questions for you. And hope you enjoyed the video.